So you're building a team with AI agents, right? And you've probably hit a wall. It feels kind of clunky. The old rulebooks just don't seem to work anymore. Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into exactly why that is. And we're going to look at a totally new way to think about management, one that comes from a place you would never expect.
And it all starts with this feeling right here. I tried organizing them with Scrum. It did not work. I mean, that's a quote from the creator of the very framework we're looking at today. It's this super relatable moment of failure. You get these amazing, powerful new AI teammates, you plug them into the system you've always used, and the whole thing just falls apart.
And that's really the core problem we're unpacking. Look, it's not that the AIs are broken, and it's not that Scrum is suddenly terrible. The issue is way deeper. It's a complete mismatch. See, those frameworks were built for us, for humans, with all our quirks and limitations. And AI agents, they just don't have them.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What exactly breaks down? We're going to start with those agile ceremonies everyone knows and see why they just don't work when half your team isn't human. And this is where you can really see the cracks forming. Think about it. Why do we have daily stand-ups? Because we forget stuff. We need to sync up constantly. But an AI team, they have a perfect shared brain, a knowledge base they can all access instantly. And sprints, we use those to fight procrastination and keep us focused. An AI agent doesn't need a deadline to avoid scrolling social media. It just works. And it doesn't stop there. We think teams need managers to keep everyone coordinated. But for agents, the manager is the documentation. Give them a clear knowledge base and tell them the rules, and they're good to go. What about retrospectives? Those are for us to sit around and talk about how we felt. You can't ask an AI to reflect. You just look at what it did and you update its instructions. The learning is totally different. It's all about updating the code, not the conversation. So you see, this isn't just about stand-ups or retrospectives being a little off. No, the problem is much, much deeper. The entire way a team coordinates, the very foundation of teamwork, is just completely different. And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. For us humans, coordination is all about talking, right? Meetings, calendar invites, trying to remember what was decided last Tuesday. But for an AI-heavy team, coordination happens through writing. It's all in the knowledge base, the explicit boundaries, the asynchronous handoffs. They don't need to show up at 9 a.m. for the same meeting. They just work. And what this means, and this is the key takeaway, is that the structure of your organization completely shifts. It's not living in meetings anymore. It's living in your documentation. It's not about who's higher on the org chart. It's about who has what access rules. And planning, forget those long ceremonies. It's all about setting clear approval boundaries and letting the system run. Okay, so if all the old models are broken, where do we go from here? Well, the answer isn't in some dusty old business book. It actually comes from a place that's all about, well, play, the world of gaming. And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense. Where else can you find a world where you've got characters with very specific skills, a set of unbreakable rules, and a human player pulling the strings to achieve some big goal? Yep, the answer is role-playing games, or RPGs. And I know it might sound a little out there, a little silly, but stick with me because this analogy is unbelievably powerful. It's actually a shockingly good fit for managing a team of humans and AI. This is really the big aha moment. The human leader, you're the player. You're the one making the big strategic calls. Your AI agents, they're your party members, your NPCs. Each one has a specific class, specific skills, and clear limitations. And the work itself, those aren't tickets in a backlog. They're quests. They're driving the whole story forward. And the best part is, it's a world that keeps running even when you, the player, step away. So this isn't just a fun little metaphor. It's actually the core idea behind a whole new operating system for these kinds of teams. It's called the Realm Framework. So what is Realm? Basically, it's a totally new way to organize everything. Work, knowledge, who gets to decide what, in a company that's heavy on AI. And yeah, it swaps out all that boring business jargon for the language of gaming, because honestly, it just fits way better. This table makes it super simple to see the translation. The human leader, you're not a manager, you're the player. The AI agents, they're not just tools, they're characters. Your knowledge base, that messy folder of documents, that's the Codex, the single source of truth. And all those boring tasks and tickets, they become quests. Doesn't that already feel more exciting?
And when you start thinking this way, three huge things change. First, that Codex becomes your main way of coordinating. No more endless meetings. Second, you ditch vague job titles for really cool, clear roles like warrior or mage or hunter. You know exactly what each one does. And maybe most importantly, the human, the player, stops being this constant approval bottleneck for everything.
So how do you solve that bottleneck problem? With these tiers of autonomy. It's brilliant. For simple internal stuff that can be undone, the agents can just do it. No permission needed. For more complex things where they work together, they just have to keep the human in the loop. It's only for the big, irreversible external stuff, like sending money or launching a product, that you, the player, need to step in and give the final yes. This frees you up to focus on the stuff that actually needs a human brain.
So, with all this in mind, it's really time to start rethinking your own team's world. The challenge here isn't about finding a slightly better software tool. It's much bigger. It's about completely redesigning the entire game your team is playing.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The fix is not a better Scrum implementation. The fix is a different coordination model. You can't just tweak a broken system. You have to throw out the old rulebook and find a totally new way to work together. Because at the end of the day, it's simple. You have to build a system for the team you actually have, right now. A team made of clever humans and lightning-fast AI agents. The old playbooks, they were written for a game that just doesn't exist anymore. So that leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Take a hard look at how your team operates. All the meetings, the processes, the way you make decisions. Is that system built for the team you have now? Or is it a leftover from the team you had yesterday?